A five-number summary can be visually displayed in a graphic called a box plot. So a box plot is going to show in a drawing the minimum, the lower quartile, the median, the third quartile, and the maximum. So you have a box in the middle that's going to go from Q1 up to Q3, and you're going to draw a line in that box, not necessarily in the center, but you're going to draw a line in that box where the median is. And then you'll have, extending from that box, a whisker, a line from the left, and then you'll have a whisker or a line to the right, and that's going to extend to your minimum and your maximum. So let's do an example where we construct a five-number summary and then put it with a box plot. So here is a data set from a previous video that we've computed quartiles for, that we've also computed our five-number summary for. But just to reiterate, it's an odd number of data values. So our median is going to be in the center. And then we're going to have to pluck out our Q1 and our Q3 while ignoring that center number. And then we'll also identify the min and the max. That's where we're getting our five-number summary from. So our middle number was 13. That's our Q1, our Q2, our median. Our min and max are 10 and 25. And then the Q1 and Q3 are 11 and 18. So if you would like to see that done, there is a previous video on that goes over it. Now that we have our five-number summary, we're going to draw a box from Q1 to Q3. But the box does not exist, freely in space. We got to give it some structure. We got to give it a number line. So I like to do my number line, starting from one below the min. So our min is 10. So I'll start my number line at 9. And then I like to go one above the max. So our max is 25. So I'll do my number line to 26. And what I'm going to do here is make sure my number line is nice and evenly spaced. And then I'm going to draw my box from Q1 to Q3, from 11 to 18. There's going to be a box, and it hovers over the number line, and it's got a little bit of width to it. So you've got this nice rectangle. And then once you have your box here from Q1 to Q3, you can say, okay, where's the median? The median's at 13. Let's put a line there. Notice that the median isn't necessarily the center of the box. The median is where the data tells you it is. So the box plot is dictated by your five-number summary, not the other way around. So now that we've got Q1, the median, and Q3, we need to draw whiskers left and right to the min and the max. And so we're going to draw left to 10, draw right to 25, and then you give it a little dash. Boop. Et voila. That's your box plot. Now you might ask yourself, well, who cares? And that's a great question, always in math and in life. Why are we doing this? Why is this important? So the box plot shows you how dense things are. So if you consider that there's 25% of data falls between the minimum and the first quartile, 25% of data falls between the first quartile and the median, 25% of data falls between the median and Q3. And then the last quarter of data falls between the third quartile and the maximum. And so you can say, where is the data most dense? Many people would say the data is most dense between Q3 and the maximum. And that's the opposite. Because remember, they all have the same amount of things. So if you put many things in a small space, it's very crowded. If you put many things in a big space, they're more spread out, less dense. So actually, the densest part of our data occurs in that first chunk between the minimum and the first quartile. And the least dense area is between the third quartile and the maximum. Let's do another example. Start to finish. So we've got some data. First thing we need to do is sort it. So always make sure your data is sorted from low to high. Now that it's sorted, let's start by identifying the median. So the median is going to be the midpoint between 10 and 11 because we have 12 data values. It's even, so the median is the midpoint. Median here being, of course, 10.5. And then the first quartile is going to be the midpoint between 4 and 4, which is 4, by the way. And then the third quartile is going to be the midpoint between 14 and 16, which is 15. You also need your min and your max. So your 5-number summary is 3, 4, 10.5, 15, and 18. And if you need help doing your 5-number summary, there's a whole separate video on how to compute the quartiles and how to compute your 5-number summary. So now that we have it, let's start drawing. Let's make our number line from 2 to 19. So I just go 1 below the min and 1 above the max. And you've got to go nice and perfectly spaced out. So every tick should represent 1. And we're going from 3 to 19. First thing we draw is our box from Q1 to Q3. So that's from a 4 to 15. Then we're going to mark where the median is. That's 10.5. And then lastly, you're going to draw a line extending to the min and to the max. So that's going to be to the left to 3 and to the right to 18, and then dash it with some whiskers. And that's your box plot. And just as a reminder, when you're looking at density of data, we can see that the densest data is between Q1 and the minimum. And then the most spread out is going to be, looks like, between Q1 and the median.